Hey, Dave, we're going to start off with a trivia question about the show that you were on, Dave.
Wait, this show that we're on right now today?
That's right, Dave. Here's your trivia question, Dave. Of these three titles, which one is actually a title of one of our episodes? One of our show episodes. Ready? Here's the title. What's the worst thing you've done to your dog? The second one is, how freaky are you? And the third one is, do you like black people? Which one of those three is actually a title to one of our episodes, Dave? This is the show that you are on.
Two. It's two, I remember.
Which one?
How freaking stupid are you?
How freaky are you?
How freaking stupid are you?
How freaky are you is 100% correct, Dave. And
I win this game every week.
No, you do not.
Yes, I do.
You do not. But we will tell everybody out there, please check us out at unseemlyquestions.com and Six Unseemly on all social media. Let's get this show started.
Six Unseemly Questions!
Welcome to Six Unseemly Questions. I'm your host, Victor Varnado. This is my sidekick, Dave Rosinsky. We've got a great contestant on the show today, everybody. Please put your hands together for Mike Drucker. Come on up, Mike. Yay.
Hi, that's me.
Hi, Mike.
I'm Mike. This is my voice.
Thanks for coming to the show, Mike.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you know what? This is going to be great. I can already tell.
Yeah.
We've got a wonderful studio audience. We've got Napoleon Emerald. I hope I said your last name right. Did I say your last name right, Napoleon? Why don't you turn on your camera coming up? Did I say your last name right? How do I say it right?
Email, EMRLL.
Email.
Like it's so you say it exactly how it's spelled. Yeah, there's nothing surprising about it.
Okay. That's fine. That's all
okay,
great.
That makes
information.
sense.
I don't understand all the anger, but let's get on with the show. Also, in our studio audience, we have Rachel Teichman. Come on up, Rachel, our producer here. She's going to be part of the studio audience. Thanks for being here, Rachel.
I'm so happy to be here. It's an honor.
Very intense. All right.
Thank you,
so,
Rachel.
Mike, let me tell you how the show works, and then we're going to get started. I'm going to ask you 6 unseemly questions. At the end of each question, I'll ring a bell if I like your answer like this. However, if I do not like your answer, I will not ring a bell, and I'll tell you why. Regardless of how many bells you get at the end of the show, you can still win $5 whole if I just decide your appearance on the show is worth giving you $5.
Oh, wow.
So
have you ever decided someone wasn't worth appearing? Because I need to know that information first.
So that someone wasn't worth getting $5? Yes, yeah. I've done it often.
We can't tell you this at this point, Mike. That is top secret information.
But now we know you've never listened to an episode of the show. But that's
you know what? I honestly have not.
All right. So Mike,
you don't have to. You don't have. That's not a requirement.
It is not a requirement. It is time for question number 1, though. Here we are with question number 1. Are you vaccinated?
Yes, double vaccinated. And yesterday was my 2-week past second vaccination thing, so I think I'm clean.
Oh, so you're double vaccinated?
Vaccinated.
You mean one vaccine, but
I got my second shot 2 weeks ago, yeah.
Which vaccine did you go? Did you go for Moderna, Pfizer?
Moderna.
Yeah. Isn't that the one that had like problems?
No, I think that's AstraZeneca.
Oh, it's AstraZeneca?
Yeah.
I thought Moderna, like when people I keep getting them mixed up. And so
does it get you fired up, Mike? Is that why you're so fired up?
That's why I'm fired up. It got me excited. You can tell I have a different energy than when you guys knew me in the stand-up scene. So got me fired up.
That's a
good side effect.
Did it get you sick the second time, like the second
yeah.
Yeah.
It felt like someone beat the shit out of me. It felt like a combination of having a bad cold and someone had beat the shit out of me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yep.
It turned me into an albino. I'm
just
kidding.
No.
Wouldn't that be great though?
Retroactively too, so we just remembered you for the past 25 years.
All right. So
are you going to get triple vaccinated?
I'm sure I'll get a booster shot at some point, like 6 months, 7 months down the line. I'm sure they'll have those. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see about that.
All right. I'm going to say no bell on that first question.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why.
No bell.
It's because it was anticlimactic. There's
I'm so sorry.
Really that exciting about it. So
we're like a theater show now.
Yeah.
Keep going, Victor.
It is time for question number 2. But before we do that, can you tell people out there what you do?
I am the head writer and co-executive producer of Full Frontal with Samantha Bee.
Ah, yeah. Way to go, man.
Thank you very much.
Because you didn't start as a head writer, right? You were a writer.
I was a staff writer, and then I was last year at the start of the pandemic. I actually became co-head writer, and then this year I became co-executive producer.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
As the Jeffersons would say, you're moving on up.
Right. And that's the song I sang and felt not problematic about it at all.
You shouldn't. I mean, it's part of America. That's
I feel like
America.
I feel like I just heard Kermit the Frog singing.
Why are you trying to heckle me, Dave? What's going on? Is everything okay at home?
Yeah, I guess they hit me a lot, but I guess it's okay.
They still hit you a lot?
No, I'm kidding. But that's what he wants to hear.
It's time for question number 2. Don't ignore abuse except when it's Dave, everybody. So it's time for question number 2. Question number 2, why do people think you're sexy?
Because I am approachable, but also have a big which I didn't believe for a long time until someone like really confirmed it for me.
Well, someone said that you had a big.
Well,
wait. No, so there's two factors to sexiness.
Please,
so you're approachable. You're saying,
like I look like someone you could get away from if things went south.
And then you have a big.
Yep.
And so you think that
diamond in the rough.
So that's why people think you're sexy.
I think so. It's like
how
sometimes
does being approachable
make
you? How does being approachable make you? So I have 2 counter questions.
Yeah, please.
And I'm going to ask you both. You can answer them any way you want to.
Yeah.
But the first part is, how does being approachable make you sexy? And the second part is, how does having a big make you sexy when by the time they know that you've had a big, you've already seduced them?
Well, first of all,
unless it's like around.
Sexiness has to like maintain. You're not just sexy and then you're done. You have to keep going. Someone has to keep finding you sexy. So you need to keep the sexy alive. And the approachable part is like, have you ever like the moment someone seems like, like if I'm on a date and someone's like, I don't want to go back to your place. And I'm like, oh, great. That's cool. It usually ends up later on with someone going back to my place because they feel not pressured. The fact that I don't give pressure actually makes them more likely to find me attractive because I'm not trying to outwardly just like make them me.
You know, that's actually confirmed because I've actually seen someone talk about that, like a woman talk about like the fact that when guys immediately up front say that they don't want to, it's fine if they don't go home with them, that makes them more attractive.
Yeah, Mike, I'm familiar with this whole technique. Thanks.
It's also, I'm trying not to be a creep. Because I feel like being a creep is this face brings a lot of creep with the baggage, and I'd like to not be.
I'd agree. I mean, you do look like
that's the last thing you want.
You do kind of look like a supervillain, so I get that.
I look like a supervillain. Yeah. That has a lot of kids in a basement.
You don't want to be living that Lex Luthor life. You know
he's very rich. I think I would. He's very rich.
Lex Luthor? Yes, he is very rich. That is true. So I'm going to say for that question, you're going to get a bell, and here it is.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.
I don't know if your theories actually make enough sense for me about like why people think you're sexy. And I know, but I know everybody. There's someone thinks everyone else is sexy. I mean, obviously, people do think you're sexy.
Thank you.
And you've just advertised that you had a big penis, so that's great because when this hits the airwaves, then it's probably going to drive up your sexiness overall.
Like 2%.
Yeah, so it's a good plan.
Aren't we going to have to bleep all that out anyway?
Well, just the word over and over again, which is going to be hilarious.
But with the context of big, I think they're going to they're not going to be like intestines.
Right.
I think they're going to think like big head or something.
Yeah,
I think they'll figure it out. I think they'll figure it out.
They're going to figure it out.
We'll see.
All right. It's time for question number 3. Mike, question number 3. Can you make a trumpet sound with your mouth? No bell. I'll tell you why.
Was that too much? Was that too much?
No, just a simple no would have sufficed.
It was like a chicken sound.
A simple no would have.
It really sounded like a chicken.
I tried my best. I committed to it. I wanted it to work, and I failed.
Can anybody else make a good trumpet sound?
Yes,
with
right here,
mouth?
right here.
Let's go
It goes like this.
Let's go around the room. Go ahead, Dave.
It goes like this.
That is better. I will admit that's better.
That is better.
Legitimately better.
That's better. That's better, but it's kind of close to just like a fart, right?
Well, I think trumpets themselves.
You're a fart. You're closer to a fart.
Napoleon, can you make a trumpet sound with your mouth?
No.
He's not interested in your stupid game.
Napoleon, really?
He doesn't want to play your stupid game.
He's gonna be hard on us.
I should have done that. That was wise.
It's not his episode. He's the right to say no. It doesn't matter what you think.
Rachel, can you make a trumpet sound with your mouth?
Yeah.
Okay, so Rachel just pulled a recorder out of somewhere, and
the one that she probably takes to the forest with her.
Because she didn't really care about the question, she just wanted to show off that she had a recorder within arm's reach.
Well, you asked me to make a trumpet sound, and this is the only wind instrument I own, and you use your mouth to make the sound. So that's how
Victor's got a wind instrument.
Okay, so it's not a trumpet sound. Again, not even close to a trumpet sound. All right. Well, that was disappointing all around. Dave made his fart thing.
It wasn't a fart thing. It was a trumpet
thing. Napoleon just like the hard stare and tried to just be too cool for it.
That's not
what? What'd you say, Napoleon?
I heard how you attacked him, so I was like, I'll also say no then.
Thank you for that backup, Napoleon. I appreciate that.
And then Rachel pulled out a recorder. Well, let's move on to question number 4.
Wait, I think there's a bell warranted for commitment's sake.
I disagree. All right,
okay.
So question number 4. Question number 4. Is it hard to be a white guy?
No. Oh man, it is a breeze. It is like, you know how video games have like, they now have easy mode, then they have even easier, they have story mode. My whole life is on story mode, man. I get the story with none of the combat.
Well, great. I mean, you're now the head writer of Samantha Bee, so checks out.
Well, what's with the combat?
That's actually a trick question, but I'm gonna give you a bell because it's a super funny answer. Trick question though, because it's hard being everybody, whoever you are. I know it's hard. It is. I mean, it's hard.
True. It is easier.
It is definitely easier for a lot of different things, but just as people, everybody's got it hard.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's a worldwide pandemic.
Right.
All right. It is time for question number 5. Question number 5. What have you touched more, a video game joystick or your penis?
Oh man, that is actually a tough question.
I know.
That is a genuinely tough question, because usually when I'm frustrated with one, I switch to the other.
Yeah.
And that's a tough. I'm gonna say for time-wise, I'm gonna say number times time-wise video game joystick.
Time-wise video game joysticks but the number of times.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, you play video games for hours.
Yeah.
You can't really sit there and do that for like days without sleeping.
Yeah.
You know.
And we're also considering like going to the bathroom and whatnot. So I'm going to say, time-wise games, number times dick.
You know, that is way more logical than I thought the answer was going to be. So I'm going to give you a
very logical,
because I was very surprised, and I think that's probably actually true.
It's almost like you thought about that before. Have you?
No, I haven't. It just
you're like, what if I touched? What if I touched more today?
Well, you asked about like the 2 things I do touch the most, so I do have some previous experience.
It is time for question number 6. Question number 6, Mike. What's with all the dead trees?
Oh, well, you know what?
Let's explain what I'm talking about first, and then tell me what's with all of the dead trees.
On my Instagram account, I every post-Christmas, I will post pictures of trees on the sidewalk, like people throwing out their Christmas tree. And it was genuinely the reason people have been like, oh, that's a funny bit. And I'm like, honestly, the first year I did it because I was really depressed. I had gone through a terrible breakup. And so I was like, look at these trees. Nothing's real. I was in my 30s doing this. I was in my 30s being like, oh man, everything's bullshit, because I was so sad about this breakup. And so, but people liked it. So I kept doing it. And now it's a bit, but it definitely started as me just being like a goth 32-year-old at the time.
That's really that's a great story. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna say it's a great story. All right, that's worth the bell.
Thank you.
It's worth the bell. Dave, you should take some pictures of some trees.
Who do you talk?
I said, Dave, you should take pictures of trees.
You should pay attention to trees.
Great. Great. That was a great answer. We've actually asked you all 6 of your questions, so now it's time to decide whether or not you're actually going to get $5 whole.
Right.
But before we do that, can you tell people out there where to find you?
Sure. You can find me on Twitter at Mike Drucker, MikeDrucker, on Instagram at Mike Drucker is Dead. And also, if you are a video game person, I wrote an entire book about Silent Hill 2 that came out in January. Silent Hill 2 by Boss Fight Books. You can find it on Kindle.
That sounds awesome. All of those things sound great, and we'll try to remember. Let's write down a note for Mike to make sure we put that in the notes on his episode.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rachel. You're just gonna stand there and stare at me? What, Rachel? You're gonna acknowledge in any way? That's our producer, everybody. Great. So let's try to figure out whether or not you're gonna get $5. Mike, let's canvass the room. Dave, what do you think? Should Mike get $5?
I like how he came on the show. He had no idea what the show was about. He tried to change the rules a bunch of times. he gave a bunch of interesting suggestions that no one asked for. I'm 50-50 on this one, and I'm gonna vote.
All right.
Yes.
Yes.
He probably needs it. He probably needs it.
I need that $5.
All right. Napoleon, what do you think? Should Mike get $5?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Napoleon says yes. I can't wait to your episode. I hope your answers are always at length. Then, Rachel, what do you think? Should I was going to say Napoleon. What do you think? Should Mike get $5?
So, I didn't know how he was going to answer the question. Why do people think you're sexy? And then he didn't try to deny that people think he's sexy, and instead had a very legitimate, authentic answer to that, and I respect it. So yes, give him $5 for not trying to be fakely humble or something.
Yeah.
All right. $5. We'll see. Now, I guess the last person to ask, I guess, is you, Mike. What do you think? Should you get $5?
I think I should get $5. I think I deserve it.
For what?
Being a good guy, being a friend to you guys in the past, doing that Boston road trip with you. I mean, that was $5 worth of laughs at least.
Oh yeah, $6 if you inflation.
I'm gonna say no $5. I'll tell you why.
Oh, brutal loss, Mike.
Because at the very beginning of the show, you asked if I've ever not given people $5, so I'm showing you.
Oh my God, that's absolutely fair too.
Thank you so much for being part of the show. Great job. I just have to wrap things up. Dave, what did you learn from this week's show?
Ooh, man, this week's episode was more of an introspective journey for me. I learned a lot about myself, actually.
All right.
I would like to share it with you all.
Okay, maybe some other time, though. Everybody, please check us out at unseemlyquestions.com and Six Unseemly on all social media.
Starburns Audio, a podcast network.